Americans are losing their jobs this month. Well, the jobs report just came out and it's saying, the unemployment rate came in at 4.6%, but the issue is people aren't just losing jobs, they're also losing hours. And that doesn't show up cleanly in the unemployment number, but it does show up in your paycheck. And this matters because yesterday I talked about the 3 numbers I'm watching this week to see what's going to happen in the stock market, how I can position myself to make the most money possible. And if jobs come in weaker, that gives the Fed more justification to cut interest rates. Normally cheaper money can be good for stocks, but why rates are being cut actually matters a lot more than rates just being cut. So if the Fed is just cutting for insurance while the economy is actually still strong, stocks usually like that. They usually go up. What if they are cutting rates because the economy is starting to crack, like people losing hours, demand slowing, companies protecting their margin? That's not bullish. Like, that's not a good sign. That's damage control. And that's why you can see talk of rate cuts with the weak jobs data, but also see the stock market kind of tumble like we did today. And I know I'm going to get somebody in the comments being like, but the stock market is not the economy. And I hear you, but stocks are driven by earnings, and shrinking hours that generally shows up in earnings. Why? Because these companies are cutting hours for their workers to protect their margins, aka so that they can be more profitable. And it's also a double-edged sword because then when people have less hours, they have less money to spend. And when they have less money to spend, companies make less money. And this is exactly why I don't just react to headlines, and I help people understand how to look at what's happening beneath the data. Now, I'm going to keep breaking this down as the next numbers come out this week. We have CPI and inflation, and we also have wage growth, because none of these things actually live in isolation. And when we can look at the whole picture, we'll have a better understanding of what kind of environment we're actually in. This is the type of work I help my students do, building clarity and not panic so they can have the right strategy so that they can get super rich.